Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Briotix Health Spotlight, where we speak with providers, subject matter experts, and other key players in the field about the various aspects of worker wellness that are affecting you and your company today. An industrial sports medicine professional, or ISMP, may not be a job title you hear every day, but these individuals are making dramatic changes in the health and wellness of today's workforce. An ISMP works with employees to find and eliminate discomfort that could lead to injury before those injuries occur. We're joined today by an ISMP from Briotix Health, Joe Romano, who's offered to share what a day in his life looks like and some of the values of care he brings into the workplace every day. Joe, thank you so much for joining us today on the Spotlight. I'd love to start off learning a little bit more about your experience as an ISMP and how long you've worked with Briotix.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. So I've been with Briotix a little over a year and a half now as an ISMP. I have 5 warehouses that I service currently in the northern New Jersey, some are central New Jersey, if they consider that real, part of the country, and I love every second of it.
No, that's fantastic. While you're working as an ISMP, I'd love to know a little bit more about what does your daily routine look like when you're heading into the workplace? Are you actively searching people out? Do you have a list of problems you need to solve in the day? What does that day look like when you get into work?
Absolutely. So one of the best things that I find as an ISMP is that no 2 days are the same. I know that's common speak for like a lot of companies and a lot of positions, but I truly can say like none of my 2 days are the same. And a lot of it depends on when I'm going into the warehouse. If my warehouse is closed for the day, like closed for the morning and they're getting everything ready, it's an entirely different environment. It's super fast paced. There's machines running, there's people everywhere. And everyone's doing their own little thing. And then once the store opens, it takes a little bit of a different approach. Um, but my main goal is when I get in there is to try to handle any reports that maybe we have. We get notified if any of the employees have any injuries that are ongoing. I keep my own list, obviously, for that as well. And the goal is to meet with them first if they are on site. If those people are not around for whatever reason, maybe it's their day off or they're out of work because of that injury, then it turns more into preventative strategies like stretching, warm up movements, equipment based solutions, things along that lines that I try to help out with the employees that are in the environment that I'm currently seeing. An example being like this morning, I was at a warehouse before it opened, and we spent a lot of time just making sure that their lifting mechanics were on point and everyone that was moving throughout the warehouse was doing so safely.
You talked a lot about, these problems that you're solving. You just mentioned one of those pieces. What kind of problems does an industrial sports medicine provider usually solve?
Can I say all of the problems? No, honestly. So like a lot of it is equipment based. So like first and foremost, I think we're here to help employees regardless of what their problem is. So if they bring me a problem, I'm going to try my best to solve it, or I'm going to try to give them an answer that will help them. But most of the problems are preventative, right? We can't do anything if someone cuts their finger outside of helping them, patch it up. But we're looking for strategies, whether it be safety based, equipment based, or ergonomically based, on how to keep the employees safe. So a lot of my strategies center around understanding how their body's moving, making sure they have enough space to move those products or move themselves without putting themselves in a compromised position. And then really focusing in on little specific details of their job and using my knowledge of the human body and ergonomics to ensure that those movements are done safely.
Reducing discomfort and feeling healthy at work is a major boon for every kind of workplace. You can look into any study, and people who feel more comfortable are more productive. They often work with these companies longer. Do you have any tactics you like to use or see as very effective in that kind of scenario for reducing discomfort?
Absolutely. So we have a stretch and flex program here at Briotix that we educate our employees on throughout the year. It's a safety focus for an entire period where we really hone in on making sure that those employees understand when their body is a little achy. Let's try to provide some stretching and some preventative measures through stretching that they can do, whether they're on a little break in the break room, if they have 5 seconds between moving from one product to the next. So we really try to focus in on those counterbalance stretches and reduce overuse injuries from whether it be like a cashier who's scanning products, a stocker who's moving large bags of rice, 100, 200 bags of rice in a day. How can we reduce those aches and pains before they become something that's a little bit more serious and an injury that may be, require medical treatment?
Yeah, of course. Stretching and micro breaks are often advised for workers as a catch-all solution to discomfort. Do you think there's more to employee health than just, the occasional stretch? When are you having to step in and, do that next step?
Yeah, there's definitely more to it. I think one of the reasons that I really enjoy Briotix is they give me the freedom to treat our employees how I believe they should be treated, which is as an athlete, right? They're in here every day doing physical work, very little differences than true athletes.
Yep.
So I try to work with my employees on, yes, counterbalance stretching and micro breaks and understanding body mechanics is good, but outside of here, are there things that you can do at home? So we do talk recovery methods as if they're athletes, icing, heat application, self massage, even like warm up movements. I really try to dive into the full aspect of what these employees are doing in their day and how we can keep them healthy. So I came from a strength and conditioning exercise physiology background. So I really try to use those skill sets that I've learned in the past to help promote that with my employees. I'm constantly speaking of warm up movements to activate the muscles. If I know that there's someone who's going to be in a forward position all day, like someone who works in the deli for saying they're bent over all day, let's strengthen up that back and loosen up the chest to put you in a more advantageous position so you're healthier long term. And then is there, are you someone who goes to the gym? Here's some stuff that when you do go, here's some stuff you can do there to help that same sequence of muscles, right? A stronger back, a looser more flexible chest to try to resolve a lot of shoulder injuries that we see around here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I might have to reach out for some of those stretches. I'm sitting at my desk all day, but when I'm
Oh
at the
yeah.
gym, I'd love a little extra care. How do you establish that culture of care around health and safety in the workplace and outside of it as well? Does that help employees feel safe when they're reporting discomfort to you as well?
I like to think so. There's a few methods that I think we utilize as a team of ISMPs, and everyone has their own approach. No two approaches are the same, but a lot of it comes to building trust and rapport with the entire staff. Um, so while we do talk about ergonomics and movement efficiency and counterbalance stretching and self massage, it's those little conversations that we have as we're walking by. I make it a mission of mine to introduce myself and say hi every day I go into everybody that I see in the warehouse. Might be 150 employees, but I'm going up to each one of them, giving them a high five, saying what's up, how's their day going, checking in on them. And I think building that rapport with the employees goes a long way. Um, and it's little things. It's small talk here and there. How's oh I see him wearing a Yankee hat. Oh, did you catch the Yankee game last night? How did it go? Like little things like that go a long way in establishing trust. And the biggest thing to me is as an ISMP, I have to be comfortable being the one to initiate these interactions with people, right? Um, I say it a lot, but it's okay to be comfortable being uncomfortable. These are people who are professionals. They're doing their job. They may have been doing this for 20 years. They don't want some random person coming in and tell them how to do their work more efficiently or how to prevent this stuff that's never happened to them previously. So, um, be uncomfortable. Walk up to people. Hey, I noticed this little tweak here and there. Like, try this out for example. See if it helps. Um, and that baseline level of trust goes a long way when someone does report something, to know that you're not there, to get them in trouble or make a problem
Yeah.
for them. You're truly there to help and solve any issues that they may have.
Joe, thank you so much for giving us a little bit of insight into what industrial sports medicine professionals doing every day and what you're bringing to the workplace and the value that you're really providing. Thank you so much for hopping on and just sharing that with us today. We're really excited to hopefully in the future learn a little bit more maybe about what you've been doing. Of
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
course.